Sociologists found that while women suffer more than men after a breakup, that they bounce back better than we do. They believe that it's because women undergo much more self-realization than guys do. Now, self-realization has different definitions, but here in the West, it's interpreted as growth in your social circle, your spirit, your body, and just as important are the aesthetics, as in your own aesthetics. And I don't mean just working out either. Here they call it self-realization, but me, I call it reinvention, because it's time that you become the man that you're supposed to become and not some default version of you. And that's something that we as men, that we just suck at. We stay within our comfort zone, and often we get stuck in the what ifs of the past. And if you're watching this, chances are that you try to fix your marriage, that you fought like a warrior, but all this time you were fighting the wrong enemy. And now it's time to pick up after yourself and stop with the what ifs of the past and prepare for your new strategy, the what ifs of today and tomorrow, as in your future. It's time to let go, to get rid of that guilt and change your mindset from victim to badass. Because remember this, that the sooner that you realize that you're not accountable for her, the more empowered you're gonna feel. And the more you're gonna be in control of your life. Accept your situation no matter how reluctant or scared you are, because if you knew your fate, the fate that's now your reality, would you really fight it? First thing you gotta do is you gotta get busy. The paradox of a breakup is that you're left with all this time, leaving you further anxious. You're left torturing yourself as you can't accept the enormity of the circumstances. You're stuck in your own quagmire of pity, self-doubt, and a combination of victimization and guilt. The last thing that you need is time to think, because you're not really thinking. You're reminiscing and you're stuck. You're anxious, and an anxious mind goes to some really dark places. You want to go to a dark place, but to make it beneficial? Try this exercise. Write down or record your worst case scenario 2 years from now. Your worst case in 2 years, you're gonna still be grieving the relationship, you're lonely, you lost your job, you let yourself go, you have a limited relationship with your kids, living in your parents' place, resembling a dorm room, unkept, out of shape, bitter and angry. Or worse, you saved the relationship and you're living on borrowed time, only to be going through the same shit 2 years later. Then there's the very worst case scenario, because divorced men are 2.5 times more likely to commit suicide than married guys. I've seen it. Men reaching out to me because they want to bite the bullet at the end of a barrel, and it's terrorizing. Channel that scenario, because fear is a motherfucking motivator. Go and join my Facebook group and post. Put those fear into words, but don't fall into the trap of posting what your ex did to you. Stop being the victim. The longer you play the victim, the longer you're gonna stay her victim. Now, think about the best case scenario 2 years from now. What will you be? How will you look? Will you be fit? How will you dress, act, grow, date, and even screw? How do you want to be like 2 years from now? You've just been given the freedom of reinvention, and that's self-realization. In a survey I did, 25% of women had cosmetic breast surgery within 6 months prior to or after their separation. 17% of them did it before their separation, showing you just how calculating they can become. Guys, we work out, build something like work on our car or go on vacation, but that's about it. During my separation, I inadvertently did what most females end up doing. They get boob jobs, I got hair transplants. They do retail therapy, so did I. They go to the Bahamas or whatever they do. I went to Nicaragua. They take selfies, I started a YouTube channel. They work out, we work out. They buy girly products and have spa days. I bought a lot of guy craps and got laid. They take dancing lessons. I went salsa dancing. They take yoga, I meditate. They talk crap, I talk crap. The point is that women are doing it right. So my question is, what are you willing to do? Not next week, not tomorrow, but today. People say write things down, but I say to video your feelings and thoughts. When I have a consultation with guys, they all receive a copy of our initial one-on-one consultations. After sending it, I often get comments about the clarity that it gives them, and it checks their state of mind. But often, a lot of the guys, they say they can't believe how pathetic they become. They're not pathetic. They're just down. Start kicking your ass by doing high-intensity interval training. It's high intensity for a reason, and it's defined as your heart rate being 70 to 90% of your maximum heart rate. It's gonna kick your ass, and if you're relatively young, there's no excuse. Walking, hiking, jogging, that's fine, but it's not gonna give you the mental clarity that HIIT gives you, because it's the fastest reducer of your stress hormone cortisol, and it boosts your mood. HIIT isn't the band-aid for stress, it's the cure for stress. Your stress will go down, you'll notice a change in your body within 2 weeks. HIIT is quick like it only takes 20 minutes a few times a week, and quick in that you'll notice a change in your body right away. Whether you're going back to stay with your parents, crashing at a friend's house, keep your environment organized and clean. Take ownership of the place during those few days, weeks, or months that you're gonna be there. This is the new you, the accountable part of you. Staying with friends for months, pay him back, not just by rent, but by contributing to the house. Offer to paint the room, fix the lighting, change the doorknobs, anything. You're not kissing ass. You're just making yourself useful. Don't let the place get disorganized and dirty. That's a reflection of your mental health and your well-being. When I got single, I upgraded my house and redecorated my home, thinking that I was gonna be one of the few guys that was gonna have a badass home. Man, was I wrong. Turns out that most single guys our age, they already have a pretty cool place and a clean place. Paint, buy plants, add lighting and mirrors to make the house look larger. Cleanliness, it increases endorphins, and decluttering, it improves your focus. Dishwashing, for instance, has been shown to decrease the nervousness by 27%. That shit she complained about you not doing things like cleaning up, fixing things, remodeling, guess what? You're not gonna have to do it, like it or not. Get a new bed, let her keep hers. Rest easy knowing that the guy that she brings into that bed, that it was made by the two of you. Keep your sheets white, it'll keep you honest by keeping them clean. Declutter the crap out of your home. Order a dumpster for a few weeks and throw all that shit out. It's cathartic. With social media, it can either be a bitch or your friend. Don't post anything public that you're gonna regret, but do post how you feel in the private. That way, only you can see it. It's just as good and, well, it works as a digital diary for you. Block her from social media. Now, I always hear the old excuse that you guys have kids and you wanna look at the pictures, but I call bullshit. What you're really doing is you're being a voyeur. Here's the scenario. You're home feeling sorry for yourself, scratching your balls when under impulse, you decide that you're gonna look up your ex. What's she up to? Only to find out that there's other guys with her in the pictures. Guys that you've never met, or worse, guys that you knew, and now you're questioning their motives. You just mind-fucked yourself. How long they've been going out? Is she screwing them? How could she be here partying while here I wanna die? Don't go down that gonorrhea pain. Just block her. Save your pictures if you want, because once you do block her, the ones that you tagged in, they will disappear. Therefore, save them and then block her. Think of it this way. If she were to block you, she would call the shots. You lost all your pictures where you guys were tagged together, and she decides when to unblock you. So you might as well do it before she does and gets any idea to do it first. The response I typically get is that it's liberating. Social media is your friend. Change your profile picture and cover photo, but don't do what most guys do and post a picture of something silly or you hiding behind a mask, or write something passive aggressive. Just put a picture of you, one of you and your kids. That's classy enough to tell the world that something's up. And don't put separated or divorced on your profile. Just leave it blank. Reach out to single friends that you lost contact with. Just look them up on social media and comment on any of their posts. If they're doing something that you think that you'd enjoy, like a bar or a concert, comment, hey bro, it looks like fun, let's hang out. Most are gonna be happy to get in touch with you. And when they respond, just send them a direct message. Do this especially if they're single, because I can assure you this, that they're gonna know a lot cooler places to hang out than you will. And join dating sites, not for long-term relationships, but to date casually. Lots of guys, they go around saying that you need to find yourself first to learn who the fuck you are. And my response is, for what? You're out to have fun, not get married again. Don't repeat the same mistakes of your past by getting into another long-term relationship right away. I did that, and I'm twice divorced, baby. Of the guys that I work with, I can count on one hand how many I believe shouldn't be out there dating. The others, on the other hand, they wait just way too long. Even if you feel you're not ready, still try. You're gonna find that there's many good quality women out there wanting to meet you, and that you're more of a catch than you thought, which is especially important when your self-esteem is low. 60% of guys, they start dating within 3 months of their separation. When taking dating serious, as in putting your effort, 94% of the guys said that joining these sites made them realize that they undervalued themselves. Now, you might muck things up on your first date and over-talk about your ex, but that's part of the process and that's part of the learning curve. Here's the caveat though. When joining these sites, don't half-ass it. Lots of guys, they stubbornly try this and fuck themselves over because they're not aware that dating apps have an algorithm, and they may end up getting shown only a few times a day to less desirable women that they would like. You're getting undesirable women, you did that to yourself, and you know how you find out what type of women you're getting shown to? It mirrors the type of women that you're looking at in the app. Even if you're good looking, take advantage of it and don't half-ass by taking selfies of yourself. It's lazy and arrogant. Data shows that the most important aspect of your picture is the quality of the pictures. So sorry if you got a magnificent smile. It's gonna help much better if you just have a better picture of yourself. You may attract some 6s and 7s to your site, but not the top tier. Gentlemen, my name is Rene Garcia and I'm a divorce and recovery coach for men. My job is to help guide you through your divorce and to do what right now you think is impossible. To come out of this, what's your most tumultuous time of your life? Thriving. So if you like the ideas brought forth in this video, look around, subscribe to my channel, join my free and confidential Facebook group, and make the smartest decision that you're going to make through your divorce. Schedule a consult with me because I'm not a luxury. I'm a necessity, and I commit to you that we'll get through this together. So like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know which ideas stand out to you the most. What are you going to commit to? Now let's continue the discussion. Expand your social circle, learn something practical. Take community college classes, photography, web design, fashion. Sky's the limit. I took a course on fashion and fabric, went to LA's garment district to buy yards of material, just to learn to see how materials work best with what. I got to meet some really cool people doing it. It turns out that you're going to learn a lot from the younger generation because I tell you this, we older guys, we talk a lot of shit about our younger generation, but when it's all said and done, there's a lot to learn from them. Check out sites like meetup.com and look for local events that take place in your area with people that are similar, that have similar interests to you. Match.com also has some great gatherings as well, and you can mingle with single people. Go shopping, and if you suck at dressing up, don't be ashamed because 2/3 of the guys, they used to have their wives dress them up. And another poll I did, 42% of men don't dress up because they just don't know how to do it. It's a legacy that our parents didn't leave us with. A technique I recommend is to start with the least expensive way possible, and that's getting your clothing tailored. Whiten your teeth, try new products like cologne, facial scrub. Trim that goddamn beard of yours that you're most likely letting get out of control. Get a haircut, trim them nails, and definitely trim them balls. There's more than you can do to just give it time. But in time, as you get better, you're going to notice how ordinary she was, that it was your love that made her special, and you'll begin to see her with a strange case of curiosity, wondering, what was I thinking? Now, you got a lot of crap to do. The question is, which one of these three are you going to commit to? For instance, if educating yourself on something useful, how do you plan to do it? Get started and schedule a consult. The link is in the comment section underneath, and I look forward to speaking with you guys.